What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Wrenching Wrecked. We are on location at the shop today. The Dottie mobile is up on the lift. Wheels are off. Tires are dismounted. So we'll be putting those back on hopefully later today. And I omitted all of the boring blasting stuff because you don't need to. One, I don't want to wreck my camera, and two, going through and sandblasting, just watching paint get removed. Some people might like that, but I don't. So got these all stripped down and blasted. They are German wheels, so they got a bunch of that E-coat on there, which sucks. Masked off the backs on here, so these are pretty much ready to go. Got the big oven turned on because I got to do this long frame as well. So we're going to preheat these to about 400 degrees and let them cool. Now, instead of doing a single coat on these, we are kind of doing a fancier video. These are going to be, or a fancier coating job. It's going to be a Kingsport gray in these little pockets and then gloss black over the whole face. So the factory wheels were machined face with gray in this pocket, but a different color. So instead of having the machined edge on the front, we are going to switch that up and black out the wheels essentially, but it'll still have that gray to contrast. So it won't be a completely black setup, and then at some point I got to sneak this quad frame in there as well. So let me get these loaded in. I got the other two wheels in the oven, preheated, then we'll pull them out, start the coating process, and I'll kind of walk through the two-tone job. It's long, it's tedious, it's a huge pain, but it should look good when it's done. Okay, quad frame's hung up. We're gonna blow this off. It's gonna be loud, and then start plugging every threaded hole and passage for tight tolerance with silicone caps. Plugs all over the frame, high temp silicone ones. There's a couple caps. He left all the bolts in and told me he wanted it coated that way for whatever reason, so that we're gonna leave. But this is pretty much ready to go, so we'll wheel this over, finish blowing off the gun, make sure that's cleared out. We haven't used it, it's just got some dust on it, so we'll clean that up, throw in some fresh red powder, and start coating. We're using a Gema OptiFlex Pro 2. It's the newer version they got out, so we're just gonna do this in red, and then the wheels should be preheated, so those will come out. We'll start coating. Throw you guys over here in the corner, out of the way. Hopefully you don't get too dusty. Got the ground hooked up to the hook. So we shouldn't have any problems there. And hopefully I got these settings set right. I didn't even check it. We'll find out. All coated, all the nooks and crannies are hit. This is a very hard frame to coat if you don't have a good gun, so props to the Gema. It is much easier than stuff that we've used in the past. We've had that gun for about a year and a half now, and could not be happier. It's not cheap, but it works really well. So wheels are up to temperature. We're gonna yank those out of the oven, sweep up, get ready for some black. Gun is cleaned out, ready to go. Satin black loaded up. These are going to be gloss black wheels, but we're going to use satin as a base because we don't need to do a high gloss with more gloss. And we're going to be wiping on them, and satin seems to be a little bit more forgiving in that sense. So frame's in the oven getting up to temp. I'm not doing a full cure on that because that's going to get cleared as well. after we get done with the wheels. So I'm gonna pull the frame, bring the wheels over. I think they're cool enough to start coating. You guys got a little red. Sorry about that. All right, semi-cured the frame. We're probably 10 minutes or so, 8-10 minutes, just enough to gel it out. I don't want to do a full cure yet because we are going to clear it, and you don't want to do a full cure on the base if you're going to be adding an additional layer. If you do meshing between the coats, you're basically putting a coat on top of another coat that's not fully cured, or that is fully cured, and it'll tend to be a little bit more brittle and prone to flaking off in sheets, at least a second layer. If you do a semi-cure like that and then clear it, when it gets up to temperature, the two powders actually melt together and make a much more durable finish. So wheels are out. We got satin black loaded up. Got to throw some plugs on the end of these eyelet hangers, and then we will do our satin black base coat. So just a quick recap. We got satin black we're going to do on the whole wheel. These pockets are going gray, but rather than try and wipe satin black off of these pockets, we're only going to wipe the face, I think. We might flip-flop depending on how this first one goes. So we'll shoot some satin first and do a tester. Wheels should be about ready to go. I did take a DA and hit the faces of these. There's just a little bit of roughness and texture in there. So we went ahead and DA'd those. So we're at 79 degrees, which is plenty cool for coating application. Now it is just the face that's going to get powder. I like doing the whole wheel. Just in case, usually when you short cure them, it works fine, but I like just at least dusting the whole wheel. To me, it just kind of prevents any buildup or uneven textures that kind of might form if you have an overspray line, basically. And it'll stop me from leaving fingerprints all over the barrel on bare aluminum when we go to do the masking. First one's done. Gun change adjustment on the lug nut areas. Now we're back to normal. If you get too close with the lug nuts with a higher voltage, it'll fisheye and pop on you. wheels out of the oven after a quick semi-cure. So it's a satin black. This should flatten out quite a bit if it was full cured, but we're not doing a full cure, so that's why it's as glossy as they are. So now these get to cool down while we prep and load up the next color. I'm just gonna wait on the next two wheels before we switch it back to the gray. Second set is out of the oven. So there's the last two. And one nice thing about it being -9 degrees, that little crack in the door drops temps like crazy. Let these two cool. Had the door cracked, wheels are nice and cool now to the touch. Not gonna temp probe it because we don't need to, but now we get to add the Kingsport Gray. And then the fun begins. So, I'll throw you guys on the tripod, load the gun up, spray some sparkles, and we'll be right back. Just like last time, we're gonna coat the whole wheel with some sparkles. Keep the barrels sparkly on this too, so that's going to be a gray back. Wheels are all coated, hung up on the rack, so I'm going to move one of these. We're going to do one at a time. Now, we basically get to wipe all of the powder off of everything we want to stay black. So, we'll time-lapse that one. I'll throw you guys up in the corner. A little bit of vacuum, a little bit of finger wiping. Should be good to go. Alright, now the tedious part. Wiping our wheels. Rag. rough cutting done. So now we just got to go in and make sure there's nothing left on the black sections. So fresh, clean, wet rag. Do some final wipes here. Knock off all of the excess. So the hard part, rough cut is done. Just make sure it's nice and clean. Wipe down. It's hard to see in the light right now, but this one's ready to go in the oven. We'll throw that one in while we keep chugging along on the other ones. Two down, two more to go. Hope you enjoy the time lapses. I did a quick flash cure on that just to set it up before it gets cleared, but here it is. I know it's gonna be really hard to see with the lighting because it's kind of pitched on an angle, but got a nice gray metal flake, gunmetal-ish color. A little bit on the lighter side than like a darker gunmetal, but gloss black. On the face, it's still satin right now, and it's not fully cured. So once we get a nice coat of gloss on here, this thing's really, really gonna pop. You can see the reflection there. Ooh, a lot of work, but they're gonna look good. So, more time lapse. fresh out of the oven. Again, it's dark, so you're not going to be able to see this until it cools off and we clear them. And I can tip them upright. You'll see it in the sunlight for sure, but angles are wrong for good videos here. Last one's in to flash cure. And we'll lay some clear on. Okay, the hard part's done. Everything is coated, cooling right now. Masked off. Obviously, I promise you this will look better once we get them off the hooks and tip them down. Probably when we go to put the tires on towards the end of this video. So if you're looking for the finished product, go ahead and jump ahead if you want, but stupid lighting. Anyways, these all need to get clear coated. That needs to get clear coated. So working pretty efficiently. We're going to do an APC super durable clear on this. And then once this is coated, I will grab those wheels, coat them in there, and then we got room for everything to fit on one rack. Nice and easy and efficient. So let's get set up and start coating again. 2 are still too warm to, I mean, they're fine to coat right now. I just want to let them cool a little bit more. We're going to clear these, which really helps that metal flake pop. And we'll just fill the rack up, roll the big one in, and we just wait on them to cure. Okay, oven's up to temp, so we're gonna yank these out. See the fruits of our labor. Okay, yank the wheels out. Fresh out of the oven, still really, really hot. 400 some degrees, 375 degrees. Gloss black centers, comboed with the King Sport Gray. This will look better, hopefully tomorrow, when we actually tip them upright, because right now, again, they're angled back. So the reflectiveness of the light isn't the most visible on these, but they are two-tone with clear. Not a crazy contrast in terms of colors, but gloss black looks pretty good. And then the clear on the frame. So right now, frame is a nice dark, deep, wet red. As this cools off, this color is going to brighten up a good amount. So that's that. I was hoping to get the tires put back on, but that's going to turn into a tomorrow video because it's a Sunday. It's getting late. This took a long time. This is not an easy task to do, but here's that gray. It's a really nice metal, flaky, gunmetal, charcoal, whatever you want to call it. Pretty happy with it. Wheels look good. They're going to look really nice on the car. Something a little bit different than the factory stuff, so we will pick this up tomorrow when I come back, and then we'll do the tires and remount them, get the car off the lift, and then she can whip around, do whatever. But she's wanted me to do this for so many years since we've had the car, 3.5 years. We finally got around to getting the wheels done. And then we got some big plans for the Gorelli when we get back home. I know it's Harley stuff typically on this channel, but weird little bit. I got mags already. These were sitting upstairs. I didn't sell them when I had everything else listed for sale. So we're gonna probably rip that apart and ruin the original paint and do some crazy, really bright, obnoxious colors. And that'll just, it's nice, it's small enough, it fits in the van, or will fit in the van whenever we go to shows. So we're gonna deck one out, and that'll be our kind of powder coating booth, sample, demo, whatever it may be. We're not done with Harleys by any means, because we got tons of work to do on those too, but we're gonna take a quick pause on that, play around with some mopeds. Dottie approved me to build it out and do some hot rod stuff on that, so we're gonna try and build like a high 40s, low 50 mile an hour build on a little 70cc Polini piston. That's a whole nother can of worms. So we'll be back tomorrow, finish this one up, mount the tires, get them back in the car, get some pictures and video outside, hopefully in the sunlight. I don't know what the weather's gonna be like, but if this is the end of it, catch you on the next one. If not, we'll be back tomorrow.